Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be a fun session. I'll try to keep it under 3 hours. I'm sure you've heard that joke before. All right, we're going to talk about Windows 10 upgrade options. Part of it will be Windows 10 to Windows 11, but for those people who are having issues or problems or anything like that, there's lots of other options that that we're going to talk about that you should think that might be useful to you. All right. So what is Microsoft doing? How many people have seen Monty Python shows?
Oh, yeah.
So you all do. So some of you know Monty Python. That's good because I'm going to play something. How many know the parrot sketch?
Yes.
Yeah, X-Parrot. This is an X-Parrot. In just 5 months, like Monty Python's Norwegian Blue, Microsoft's most successful operating system release ever will be pushing up the daisies. It will have shuffled off its mortal coil, run down the curtain, and join the bleeding choir invisible. Some of you, I'm sure, love that sketch. I'm just going to...
It looks so young.
Okay, Windows 10, not quite as bad, but getting there. Okay, so what's Microsoft doing? So, end of support date, October 14th. That means after October 14th, you'll no longer receive bug fixes from Microsoft. Very exceptional that they will do that. You can take notes if you want, but my intent is anybody who's on the email distribution list will get a copy of the presentation anyways. Okay, so there will be no bug fixes. However, your security software, like if you have an antivirus software, whether it's Microsoft's own, which most people should have turned on, which is Windows Defender, or if you've got something like Malwarebytes. Sat down with Trixie a couple weeks ago, and we've determined that Norton antivirus is useless. Waste of money, but because she got caught. But most of that stuff will continue to work. That means if there's an easy virus or something like that, it will probably warn you ahead of time. But if there's new fixes open, if there's holes that are found in Microsoft Windows 10, won't be fixed. Third parties should continue to function properly and receive their own updates for now.
For now.
Everything is for now. I was doing my income tax a couple of weeks ago, and I use TurboTax to do my own taxes. This message pops up. Windows 10 support ends in October. This version of TurboTax, of course, works on Windows 10. Future versions of TurboTax may not. This comes from TurboTax. Other software, you'll eventually begin to see it. Anybody who's been using Chrome for a long time and have used it on an older operating system, Chrome does the same thing. They still, at one point in time, Chrome has a new release every month, give or take. At one point in time, they will begin to tell you that says, sorry, you're not getting any more versions because you're on an unsupported version of Microsoft Windows. So that's what happens there. So why is Microsoft doing this? Microsoft is very desperately trying to improve security. Antiviruses, malware, anything that's coming through the internet keeps getting worse and worse. You hear more and more bugs coming through that way. Microsoft is doing whatever it can at its level to prevent to prevent a lot of those bugs impacting the machine. They want certain hardware. Some of it will be hardware based. One of them is a TPM, which is a security module. Another one is that there's some new instructions available on newer chipsets that are required to allow it to do that. So that's why in the limitations, certain old processors, certain old PCs, and even if a PC is, you may have bought it recently, if it's based on some older technology, because it was sold to you cheaper, it's got some problems. So yeah, old PCs are going to the recycle bin, not eco-friendly. The other thing to keep in mind is that we're all home users. We're not businesses. For the businesses, Microsoft is focused on them exclusively. They really don't care about us, really. I mean, we use it because that's what we use at work. If it wasn't for that, we'd probably be using something else. Free upgrades that we keep getting on Microsoft Windows doesn't work if it's not a way for Microsoft to make money. So, rumors and myths. No one is forcing you to upgrade to buy a new computer. Your old computer is not going to suddenly drop dead. It's not a Norwegian Blue. It's not going to drop dead on October 14th. And Microsoft is really not working with PC manufacturers to force new hardware sales, although some people say it will be. So it's an interesting debate. I've seen both sides. And yeah, your computer will continue work. And as I said to some of you, no reason to throw away an old computer. You can keep it running even as a secondary backup. So where does that leave us? Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. I keep putting in these television shows. Everybody remember the book, Don't Panic? You probably, if you were fond of the TV series, the BBC TV series, that was a scene at the end, you know, don't panic. So there's no reason to panic. Okay, what are your options? You've got, if Windows 11, if your existing machine is compatible with Windows 11, easy, no problem, no choice, no difficulty making a choice here. If it's not compatible, you might want to stay on Windows 10. That's usable for a short period of time. One day it's going to not work so well. There is a way, in depending, may work, may not sometimes. Windows 11 can be made to work on a machine that's not compatible with Windows 11. There are ways to do it. It's experimental. Microsoft says that it's not going to support it. Microsoft keeps changing the rules and tries to make it harder for you. We'll go into that a little bit. You can buy a new Windows 11 machine. You don't need to buy a very big, expensive one unless you're a gamer. I don't think there's many of us here that are gamers. All right. You can buy a Mac. We'll get in some of the pros and cons for that. You can switch to Linux. I kind of like that one. You can get a Chromebook. How many teachers are here? Ex-teachers? No ex-teachers? Chromebooks. Did you come across Chromebooks when you were teaching? No. What did you use for computers in school?
Well, I did a math pilot.
Okay.
But prior to that, it was Acorns and Icons and
Oh.
really slow things.
Okay. Yeah. Chromebooks are, I hear that, you know, they're used a lot in schools, but, and some people have an option to focus exclusively on your smartphone or tablet. There are some people that I know in the building that they've just got a phone. There are some people that have just got a phone and a tablet. It's all are options that may work. And you work mostly on your tablet, right?
Mainly,
Yeah, okay. I mean, it works for some people.
but my tablet, by the way, is on Chrome. It's
Yeah.
a Samsung tablet, it uses the Chrome, so does my phone actually.
Yeah, yeah. Those are all fine options. Okay, risk management. You need to choose the amount of risk you're willing to live with. That's what it all comes down to. That link is to a video on Windows 10 risk management, but Microsoft is forcing you to make a decision, although not making a decision right away is still a decision. And I'm going to come back to this several times. Whatever you're doing, always back up your system regularly. Who backs up their system? Anybody? One.
There's an automatic, isn't it an automatic backup?
It depends what you're running. You know
On
what?
OneDrive, doesn't it always go to like?
It could, but OneDrive isn't the backup because that's going out into the cloud.
Yeah. Oh.
And that's fine, but it's only one copy.
Oh.
You know what? What are you going to do if you get some ransomware on your phone and it clobbers all the files? All those clobbered files get moved to the cloud.
And you never find them.
And you never can find them. So you know what? maybe one of the presentations we will need to eventually to do is just discuss backup options, because I bet most of you, including me, don't do as well backups as we should. Your phones, are your phones being backed up? What if you lose your phone? Are you gonna lose your pictures? Maybe, maybe not. Depends on where you've stored a backup copy of the pictures.
I have my pictures from my phone or on my tablet, vice versa.
Yeah? Well, what happens if you leave your phone at home and you have your tablet at home,
Yeah.
and God forbid there's a fire?
Then I guess I lose everything.
I rest my case.
Can I ask a question? So system or documents, I regularly back up my documents, like my pictures,
Yeah.
so system, do you mean the system files?
No, you don't have to back up the system files. It depends on one of the options. I mean, just a slight detour into backup. If you don't mind, let's suppose that this machine here crashes.
Yeah.
And I haven't been taking full disk backups of it. So if I'm going to recover, I mean, my stuff, I have backups of all my files, but I'd have to reload the system and reload all my software, like Microsoft Word and stuff like that, and reload my settings and bring back my files.
Thank you.
So there we go. Okay, can you upgrade? How do you test if you're compatible? That's assuming you have not already upgraded. Windows Update. We did it on your machine. We just ran Windows Update, and then we ran another utility that I will suggest in here. And it basically said, Windows Update will tell you, get ready for Windows 11 and give you some this is a problem when I have a computer like this. I mean to point it over here, not here. I've done that many times before. But there's another utility called PC Health Check. Chances are it's already installed on your PC. That's what we did on yours. We went to this application called PC Health Check. You go in there and it says introducing Windows 11, check now. If it's, you can check it and see if it's Windows 11 compatible. It'll tell you if it is or if it isn't. If it is, you can install Windows 11. You don't have to come and see me. If it's not, well, then you have a different decision to make. What are you going to do? Okay. Updating to Windows 11 if your existing machine is compatible. Still recording? Yeah. Perfect. All right. We're experimenting here.
Your head is cut off.
Oh. Hey, I've had worse things happen to me. Hey. You just undo the screws. No, not that. Here, we can just undo that. And we can move it back a little bit like that. Okay. So I look okay? My head's all
Yeah,
there?
no, you got your head now.
Okay. All right. So, if your machine is compatible, just upgrade it. Very good. Make sure you have a backup. You never can tell what can go wrong. Stay on Windows 10. As I said before, there are, after October 14th, you'll no longer receive bug fixes. Over time, it'll just get worse. But in the beginning, you don't have to do anything suddenly on October 14th. You can wait till Boxing Day sales come on, or you can wait till Amazon has their, what do they call their sales? Their
Black Friday. Or
Prime Day? Or
Prime Days, where you can wait till something comes up like there and get a new machine. You don't have to do anything between now and October 14th. It's not going to kill you.
Can I have a question?
Yeah.
If my machine is compatible for the upgrade, is it free to upgrade to Windows?
Yes.
100% free.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you.
That's why Microsoft isn't making money of us and why they don't care about us. All right, Windows Defender, okay. Third-party software, as I mentioned, should continue to function properly and receive updates for now. Okay. Anybody know what FUD means? Okay, nobody's ever come across it before. Anybody know what's special about our monk? This is like a city. and it says, "Welcome to Armonk." Anybody know what Armonk is?
Is it in New York, close to?
It's just about 30 miles north of Manhattan.
It is the headquarters of IBM.
Perfect. IBM World Headquarters are in Armonk. And FUD stands for Fear, Uncertainty, Doubt. It used to be that IBM was very, very good at getting you to worry about what their solution was. Used to be a saying that nobody ever got fired for choosing IBM. That doesn't work anymore, but that's the way it used to be. Microsoft has become an expert on this. This is why they keep telling you, oh, you gotta stop using Windows 10 and stuff. And I'm telling you, you can probably run it for a while, it's not gonna kill you. Don't sue me, but it's not gonna kill you. Just do the usual stuff. Don't download anything you don't know. Don't click anything you don't know. I'm looking at you, Trixie. Don't download any malware. If you have any doubts about what you've got, be very, very careful. And we should talk,
Don't give your banking information to anyone on it.
among other things, that's right.
If you win $1 million, just delete it.
Yeah. Only $1 million, sometimes it's like many millions you're promised.
Yeah, all right.
Barry,
Yeah.
I read today, preparing for this,
Yeah,
there's a way for consumers to purchase updates if they want.
good point. Extended support.
Ah,
How's that for good timing?
Wow.
All right, and he did not see these slides ahead of
I didn't.
time. He did not see these set of slides. Microsoft has, in the past, provided extended security updates to Windows 10, only to commercial users, not to private users.
Oh.
And I think it used to cost $60 for the first year, then it's doubled $120 for the second year, $240 for the third year.
okay,
Microsoft has said they will give it to all users.
okay.
So anybody who hasn't updated and wants to keep it running, that means you'll still get security fixes. You won't get any new features in Windows 10. Windows 10 doesn't get any new features for the last couple of years, but they'll get fixes, and the estimated price is going to be about $30 is what I heard. They haven't made the websites to do this available yet. So it's coming, but you may only see it a couple months before October 14th. So if for some reason you're still stuck on Windows 10 and you do want those security updates, if it's only $30 US, not a big deal. Okay, upgrading to Windows 11 if your existing machine not compatible. Okay, hacking Windows 11. There are techniques to do it. Microsoft keeps saying there's ways, and then they take those ways away. They're trying to, as we had the term FUD before, Microsoft keeps trying to scare you. There's no guarantee that these techniques will work long term. There's no guarantees that they will work short term. There's no shortage of online information of just going and doing a browser search on saying how to upgrade Windows 10 to 11. It will tell you exactly what you need to do. Here was one link, there's hundreds more. Have instructions. A lot of them involve on using a utility called Rufus, which is really, these days we don't have CDs on our computers. Rufus is basically allows you to burn a CD, but to a thumb drive. So you can boot from the thumb drive instead of booting from a CD. So that's available. Rufus is a nice tool, I use it all the time. I use it to install my Linux software. All right. Okay, purchase a new machine with Windows 11 pre-installed. Always a safe bet. My guess is that if you're going to get something decent, it's going to cost you between $1,200 and $1,500, or maybe more after tariffs, I don't know. Is it in your budget? Only problem with that, you need to copy over your files and reinstall your applications. And as I said before, please don't throw out your old working machines. you can always find a home for them. Buy a Mac. Some of us are already on Macs, or have families that are split between Macs and Windows. If you're going to consider buying a Mac, my first question to you would, it's probably cheaper to buy a new Windows machine that's already got Windows 11 on it. However, I understand that the new MacBook Air is very inexpensive, relatively speaking, but
$1,000.
yeah, but it just doesn't have, they'll get you on the upgrades. It's a good solution if you're tired of Microsoft's antics. They do telemetry, they're always watching what you're doing. They do advertising on their systems. They do ill-advised user interface changes. Anybody go through the horrors of Windows 8? Yeah, I see a couple people say yes. What was a horror? That's the one that Microsoft got rid of the Windows button in the lower left-hand corner. A lot of people were upset about that. There's a learning curve, of course, if you're buying a Mac. Planned obsolescence. Unlike Microsoft, Mac makes its money from hardware. So it's their interest to say the hardware only works 5 or 6 years. After that, you don't get any more support. You got to buy something new. Better than Microsoft? Maybe. Check for software limitations. Not everything always works. And my personal favorite, though, is that if you happen to be in the Apple ecosystem, if you happen to have an iPhone, an iPad, or an iWatch, why aren't you running a Mac? It seems that everything is all nicely interconnected. I mean, if it wasn't an issue that I may still have customers that are dependent on me supporting software that's running on Windows, I would probably be on a Mac. My kids have all gone over to the dark side. Okay. Linux. Okay. Most people are unaware that Linux is one of the most used operating systems in the world. If you look at any back office systems where they've got lots of servers, chances are they're IBM mainframes or they're Linux machines. Windows isn't that common anymore. If you look at the Internet of Things, high performance computing, all the big supercomputers these days are all Linux based. Innovative technologies, all the systems that do your artificial intelligence and machine learning, they are all Linux based. Even your phones, they're Linux based. Android is Linux based. The iPhone is actually a Unix. It's a what's the BSD Linux? I forget, but BSD Unix. It's a Unix-based system, which was a precursor to Linux. So it's everywhere. The desktops haven't caught on, but there are desktops out there that make an attempt to look a little bit like Windows. Learning curve, like a Mac, it's not Windows. Are you up for a challenge? Do you have the time and the will? Do you need a hobby? If you live in your internet browser, if you're doing things like YouTube, if you're doing your document preparation in a browser, if you're doing internet browser, a lot of stuff that you run. If you're looking at Facebook or whatever, they're all being run in the browser. It doesn't matter what machine you are, because the browsers will all work correctly in there and run those applications. Only if there's an exceptional situation where you've got to say, I've got to run this app because I'm used to it, I need it, I don't want to change, whatever. Linux has probably, and as far as those, Linux has equivalents to most applications you can find on Windows. Yeah, Jerry, you mentioned you run QuickBooks. QuickBooks won't run. You're stuck on Windows. All right, there's some other ones on there. And you work as part of a team. If you're part of a team, you want to keep the software the same. Okay, as I mentioned before, if you switch to Linux, there's no telemetry. Nobody's monitoring what you're doing. There's no such nonsense as recall, software bloat, user interface changes. We talked about Windows 8 and other unnecessary components. Are you a gamer? Yeah, if you're on a gamer, you probably want to be on a console, not on a computer. It's easy to try. You can just take the software and put it on a USB and try it out without erasing anything that's running on your computer. So it's very easy to try it out and make sure that all the hardware on your computer works. The price is right, it's free. You can try multiple versions of it. It's maybe better, more fun. And just what to do about old computers. I mean, I'm not about to throw this at my grandmother, if she were alive, but if you have kids and you've given kids older computers, those older computers are also coming up to this problem that they may not be upgradable. And if they're not upgradable, I mean, younger kids tend to be relatively easy to work with a Linux system or whatever. So there might be some good things to do in there and to think about that. So if it's not an upgradable machine, think about what you want to do with it, but you've got other options. Chromebook. Okay, I thought Chromebooks were used by teachers, but we don't have enough teachers here to be a good representative sample. They're inexpensive, they're cheaper than Windows PCs. They're user-proof. What a Chromebook is that it's running an operating system from Google. It's called Chrome OS, and it looks just like a browser. You're doing everything in your browser. There's other ways of running some apps in there too. Yeah, it's a web browser masquerading as an operating system. They receive 10 years of regular automatic updates, which is great, which is a lot better than what Apple does. Apple, I think, is limited to 5 years, 6 years. If you primarily do your work in a browser, YouTube, social media, other web surfing, it's a no-brainer. And we had talked about Chrome OS before. Chrome OS is a version of the same system that's running in a Chromebook, but you can run it on a PC. They don't always work, but they're easy to try out because you run it from a USB drive and you can just play with it and see if it works, and all your hardware is happy. One of my machines upstairs will do it, one of my machines won't, that I have experimented with. Okay, we talked about focus exclusively on your smartphone. As I said, some people can manage this. Me, I need a large screen. My eyes don't see that good anymore. But to make it easier, particularly if you've got a tablet, mice work on it, keyboards work on it, and if you have a stylus, the pens work just fine with it. So a lot of people can get by with it. So next steps. Do your risk assessment, do your financial assessment. Do you want to learn more about information technology? This was a comment before, you need a hobby. But think of it this way. I mean, some of us are a little bit older. We need some cognitive stimulation to help keep us going. Potential for growth, meaning and purpose. All good things to do if you want to play around with the computer, particularly if you have a second computer. I mean, you still need something that works every day reliably. But this is what I said, you've got other options here. So make an informed decision. And if you want to look up information online, don't forget, AI is your new best friend. How many people have used AI here? Perfect. All right, we've got some of us. Maybe we need to do that as a presentation too, somewhere in the future, somewhere in the fall.
Gemini AI? Gemini, is that AI?
Yeah.
I use it.
Okay, that's it. That's the end of what I wanted to talk about. By the way, if I will be sending out copies of this presentation, and if the video came out okay, which we will see, I will send out a copy of the video, but only if you're subscribed to the email list. Is everybody here on the email list? Who says yes? All right, okay, we're done. Questions? Anything?
Is there much of a learning curve for Chromebooks?
For Chromebook, you use a browser?
Mhm.
No different. You know what, yeah, there are things, I mean, if you wanna do like text editing, it comes down to compatibility with other software. You know, if anything that you're using in a browser right now will continue to work. If you have a certain fondness of Microsoft Word, then there is the online version of Microsoft Word that's available to anybody free. You can use that. It doesn't have as many of the capabilities of Microsoft Word, but it will do most of what most people need to do. You also have Google Docs. Google has a spreadsheet. They have a quote replacement for Word. They have a presentation for what I'm running here, PowerPoint. It works fine. Some stuff may not work, but most stuff you can probably find a replacement. So if you have anything, but if you're working as part of a team that you've got to be on the same software, may be a problem. If not,
I think I'm just so used to Windows because
Yeah.
I used it in the workplace
yeah,
all
but
these years.
yeah, but are you in the browser most of the time?
Yeah.
What are you running outside of the browser?
Sometimes Excel and Word.
Okay, well, Google has what's it called?
Sheets.
Google Sheets.
Google Sheets. yeah.
Google Sheets. I mean, it's their equivalent of a spreadsheet. It could read a Microsoft Excel spreadsheet, depending on what you've done in the spreadsheet. If it's very complex, there may be some issues with it. If you're using any of the are you using any of the macros in Word or Excel?
No.
Then that's not an issue either. So you've got all those options to try it.
You find, Eva, that the Google Sheets is very similar to Excel.
Excel, yeah.
Yeah, like there's really no learning curve.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're doing a really complicated spreadsheet, it might be different, but if you know,
That
fairly-
would be simple.
yeah, it's pretty
Simple
straightforward. I
spreadsheets.
found that it's pretty seamless
Yeah.
going back and forth. I think the sheets actually work better for me than the Google Docs in
Yeah.
terms of seamlessness of going back and forth between.
I mean, the only reason
Microsoft.
I'm on those products is for compatibility with other people.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it wouldn't matter to me in the least. And not everybody that I work with, you know, as part of the committee, has Microsoft Office installed. You know what? There are other solutions. Yeah.
So does this new upgrade affect the way the MS Office programs work or they look?
No. We can have an interesting discussion on Microsoft Outlook, which there are three different versions of it, all called Microsoft Outlook. Some of you may have been caught by that, and there was an upgrade on there. This is where Microsoft is making these changes. They don't care at all about me. I said, the old version that they have, which is the one that comes with Microsoft 365,
Yeah.
is the old full-fledged version, but I think if you install it now, it may not come by default.
Well, what I found is it prompts you to upgrade, and then when I tried the upgrade, it was a nightmare.
Yeah, the new version,
Unfortunately, I hadn't gone far enough that I couldn't just, I just backtracked to what I
yeah,
was already
the
using.
new version is not complete compared to the old version.
And I mean, I don't know about everybody else, but I find Outlook is just a major pain in the
Yeah.
ass. I hate it, but that's what I'm using, but I don't know, there's so many parts of it that are just
Yeah.
really, really aggravating.
My recommendation to anybody who's still using Simpatico though, is get off.
To get off? what?
Get off.
Get off the simpatico?
Yeah.
Oh, why?
Because Simpatico, you're stuck with Bell. If Bell decides that you have a problem, then you've got a problem. Whereas other tools can take you You know, you can use anywhere on any system, using any online or email client to do it. You know, to
So
work with
Harry,
it.
if you wanna transition from a Bell account to say Gmail, and you wanna save all your old emails, you know, like your existing database, can you do that?
Yeah, there are ways to do it. You can either just save it, or I'm going to be working on a project with Paul, because Paul wants to switch from Roger. He's still paying for Roger's account because he has a Rogers email address, but he's on Bell here. And yeah, Paul has some other issues with what he's running in his unit, but we're going to move all his Rogers mail into a new Gmail account. And we will actually physically move it. And there's several ways to do it.
So what happens if somebody knows, like they know your old Bell account number, and they email you to their old email, cause that's what they know, and they don't know you transitioned to Gmail, will it automatically forward that email?
Well, in the beginning, what I would do in that case is you can set up rules in, like Roger's email is basically Yahoo. And you can set up rules in Yahoo. I know you can if you're in the paid version, so I presume you can do it for the Rogers version, that you can forward email automatically to another account, as long as that email exists. If that email doesn't exist anymore, there's nothing to forward.
Okay.
The other thing is that if I were going to do something like that, I would also put a vacation reply in, let's say in Paul's case, in the Rogers system, so that it will send a message back to whoever sends him a message that says, please forward this email to,
Oh, your new email address?
yeah, here's my new email address. Please start using this. And that's a good system, except you only get that email normally once.
Okay.
Unless you turn it off and turn it back on again, then maybe do that every 2 weeks or so, so that it reminds people, it says, if you're still sending email to me at Rogers, please don't.
But then that's as long as you have the Rogers account.
Yeah.
Email account.
Yeah, he wants to save some money, as we all do. So that's a project we're gonna work on. We've been talking about it for a while, but we're gonna work on it over the next month or so. We'll let you know how it worked.
Oh, you don't need to let me know, you need to let that guy know. My stuff works.
But I have no fondness for simpatico.
Well, he's, you know, I don't know how Bell does, like I've got a simpatico address.
I know.
He's got bell.net,
Yeah,
but I mean, you're obviously
It's the
still
same
tied-
problem.
You're still tied to Bell.
and I can't test it because I can't create a simpatico account for myself or a bell.net account.
Oh,
It doesn't allow you to create new accounts. This is where the problem is. You cannot increase your usage or create another email account. If you can figure out how to do it, let me know. Because I'd like to be able to test that for other people. Because sometimes I get questions on it, but I can't.
so you're saying like if you've got a Bell account, you can't add another email account to
If you
that?
can, if you think you can, let me know. Tell me how to do it. But I've looked at it and I said, here's my number. I go online to my Bell account, you know, where I pay bills and stuff like that. And I say, okay, go to my email, and it says, create a new account. It says, sorry,
Oh,
can't do it.
Have you tried going onto the Bell forum and asking the question?
I've seen some responses from that, and the general thing is, you know what, get off.
My nephew who works for Bell,
Yeah?
well, he switched all his emails to Yahoo.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah,
Yahoo. He did it, 2-3 years ago.
Yeah.
Because, and at that time, they said they were phasing simpatico out. I don't know whether that actually.
Well, yeah, I think that's their official policy,
Yeah.
but they're not about to kick anybody who's using simpatico off.
Right.
They're just not letting you get on.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, we've had Bell in the building for what, 8 years roughly?
I don't know.
Yeah,
Not quite that long, no.
Yeah, and so, yeah, maybe a little
No,
bit
it
less.
just got, the 5 years
Just
just got
after
renewed last
Yeah,
year.
Yeah, so,
It wasn't a full 5 years.
yeah, so, yeah, and I should be able to create a Simpatico or a Bell.net account. I can't, or haven't found out yet how I can.
One of the biggest problems is if you go to a different province, they don't have the file servers there. So
Yeah,
like Alberta doesn't even have a Bell store that
Really?
will do something for your computer.
Yeah, that's a challenge, that, you know, like when we were in Costa Rica, we had no problems with Freedom Mobile, we
Yeah.
changed our mobile phone, everything was perfect. But when you went to use a Simpatico or a Bell account, you couldn't find the servers.
yeah. You know what? That's not to say, something like Gmail or Outlook is that much better, because you're not gonna get any service from Google. You're not gonna get any service from Microsoft if you have a problem. You can follow their steps in terms of if you need to recover account. You need to have recovery emails, maybe another email address, a different one, as a recovery email address, a recovery telephone number, and you can probably recover your stuff, unless somebody has managed to get into your system and already changed it. But yeah, I can run Gmail on anything, and I can use any tool that I want to get to Gmail. I can use Thunderbird. I can use Apple Mail. I can use Outlook. They all work.
What would you say is the best email client?
Whatever you're comfortable. If you've been using Gmail, fine. Just remember, you're not the client. You're the product. Because you're not paying for it.
How do you
So-
back up,
Pardon?
how do you back up your Gmails or Outlook or?
Well, I am not doing it at present. Once I'm finished with Paul and the way we move the stuff over, I may go into an exercise of, backing it up to somewhere safe. But the way you back it up is, instead of using a browser to get to your Gmail account, you use a third-party tool, whether that might be something like Apple Mail, Outlook, the older versions of Outlook, or there's a product that I like that's a freeware product that's open source called Thunderbird. And basically you can tell Thunderbird, here's my Gmail account, download everything. So it will download everything, because it's all through IMAP services, so it can get it and it can keep it on your computer.
That was
So,
great.
so you can make sure that it never ever gets lost.
Is it like for like, I mean, the same format? Like each
Yeah,
player?
yeah, it's pretty much the same. Yeah, they're all reasonably compatible. Small differences, but you're not gonna lose anything.
Do I need to back up Outlook? My emails on Outlook?
If your email is on Outlook, so it's in the cloud.
Oh, it's in the cloud?
It's in the cloud, although when you bring down some email, it is actually being brought down to your computer. But the real version is in the cloud, because if you go to your phone, you can get it too.
Right.
So it's all in the cloud. It's bringing down a copy. It may or may not keep a copy depending on how the software is set up, but that's where it's bringing it down. And so you're dependent on, if it's Gmail, you're dependent on Google not losing your email, or you're dependent on you don't have anybody that's stolen your account ID and gotten stuck with it.
Or you've paid your account.
You have a paid account, but yeah, so it's, so it may be some interesting stuff to do there.
When you keep talking about backing everything up, the only thing on my computer that matters to me is the pictures from my granddaughters. And Mike put everything on a flash drive for me. Is that not backed up?
Well, yes and no. How often are you updating the pictures on the flash drive?
Never.
So anything that you've taken recently, you don't have a backup.
I don't have anything taken recently.
Well,
This is for my two
Okay.
granddaughters' bat
Now,
mitzvahs, so.
thumb drives are very small, right?
I
Thumb drives are very small, right?
don't know, how small is it? You gave.
No, physically,
16 gig.
Physically, yeah,
physically small.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, but easy to lose.
I don't understand what you're saying.
Less than one potato.
Yeah, it can also get corrupted.
Yeah, it can get corrupted, it can get lost,
You could step on it.
or you could have a fire, God forbid, in your unit,
Yeah,
and then you have no backup.
except that my daughter's got the same thing,
Well,
so I
if that-
figured I could back up
if-
from her.
Yeah, well, if that's okay, that's okay.
You know,
You know what? There's lots of different ways to have backup.
yeah, well, she's got it on a CD also, that
Yeah.
can play on the TV.
Yeah, but CDs don't last forever.
No, I know that.
So, the question is, I mean, you need more than one copy, is one of the rules for backup, and you need one copy off-site. If you meet all those requirements, we'll call it a valid backup.
Yeah. See, I have it on my phone also.
Yeah,
So
and if it's on the phone,
hopefully, if there's a fire that bad,
probably
I'm not home.
in the cloud, yeah.
Yeah.
Back to the Windows 11.
Yeah.
Like I have this tablet that I upgraded to Windows 11,
Yeah,
and this is a 2016 tablet.
yeah,
So it definitely doesn't have the hardware that is required for Windows 11.
well, but how did you update it?
Well, it's a very simple process. So you go to the Windows website,
Yeah,
download the Windows operating system,
yeah,
the ISO file,
yeah,
and
use Rufus or something to write
no,
it to?
no.
Oh, you can
You
upload
download it on
directly,
your desktop.
and it installed it correctly?
Yeah.
And it didn't give you any warning messages?
No warnings, no nothing, and it
Okay,
worked perfectly.
so,
wow.
and when you checked previously, it said it's not upgradable?
Yeah,
Okay,
it doesn't have the TPS or any of the
Okay.
requirements for Windows 11.
hey, maybe maybe.
Those things did not exist,
Okay.
actually did not exist in 2016.
Well, they were. There was an older version of the TPM module.
Yeah.
It was 1.2 rather than the 2. The other thing with TPM is that it may or may not be enabled in your BIOS.
Yeah, no, it's not.
It's not. It doesn't show up anywhere in the BIOS.
No.
Okay. At this point, no explanation.
Yeah.
All right.
I have a question on
Yeah.
11 Pro,
On what?
on Windows 11 Pro.
Yeah.
Yeah, recently when I switch off my computer, it pops up saying that the task manager is still running. I have to force to close it in order to close everything. But when
Well-
I tried to find out where the task manager is, I couldn't find it.
Yeah. Yeah. If you just leave it for a few minutes, it won't shut off by itself?
No,
Really? Okay. Because I know Task Manager takes a while to shut down sometimes.
what is it doing in the background?
Checking all your applications. that are-
Checking your applications. Task Manager just is a tool that I use that shows me what I've got running.
When I switch off, I close all my apps myself.
Yeah. Okay.
It only popped up recently.
Yeah. Maybe there was an update from Microsoft that's introduced a new problem. Wait till the next month and see if next month's upgrade fixes it. I mean, Microsoft has fixes coming out every month.
Okay, so it's okay that I.
Yeah, just if the system is shutting down
Yeah,
and it gives you the option that says kill everything that's
Yeah,
preventing
yeah,
me from
yeah.
shutting down,
clear it,
clear it.
yeah,
It's okay, it's safe.
thank you.
All right. Anybody else have any questions? Great. Well, thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you.
This was a lot of fun. All right.
Just remember, guys, we do this once a month, I'm not